Thank you. Thank you. Far too kind. Far too kind. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? If you're ready, let me hear you make some noise. All right. That'll do. That'll do. Y'all ready? All right. We got a lot to cover tonight. Because, you know, I won't see y'all till Monday, so we got to get it in. So we covering tonight, we covering Tupac, we're covering Blueface, we're covering Doja Cat, we're covering some McLemore, we're covering Don Toliver, we're covering some Nipsey, we're covering some Erykah Badu, we're covering who else we got? Got some Cardi we covering. Okay, we got a lot. We got a little bit of everything tonight. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get this cracking.
Election. So what would you be looking for if you were in this role looking for a jury?
So apparently in the Tupac trial that's currently happening, apparently they've already selected the jury's in place, and next step of trial, which is opening arguments, is supposed to start on Monday. So we're just going to get some background just on the jury selection before we get started.
And foremost, if you love Tupac from like a music standpoint, person standpoint, I don't want you at all. I don't want anyone that has like a vendetta trying to get justice here, get the right person. And then probably after that, I'm focusing on the skeptics, because a big part of this case is why now? why believe what the prosecutors are saying. And if I can drive a wedge between the statements that are made in these memoirs, these interviews, and then the actual evidence of the case, and then say, see, they're just after him because they want their pound of flesh. If I can get a few people like that who will believe in that kind of theory, that theme, that's who I want on my jury.
Bernardo, who do you want?
Let's be clear. Cases are won and lost during jury selection. So it's not about whether you danced to one of Tupac's songs or saw one of his movies or you're down with Death Row. It's about whether you can be fair and impartial. So mainly, number one, I'm going to be looking for jurors that believe in accountability, believe that even though this case is 30 years old, it doesn't mean that a person can't be held accountable. It doesn't mean that justice delayed is justice denied. We're looking for people that can follow the judge's instructions, people that can actually make a decision, because you don't want to go through all of this and end up with a mistrial. But mainly, you're looking for people that can believe that the words coming out of a person's mouth is a strong piece of evidence, because this case mainly evolves around all those statements made by Keefe D. Davis and admissions.
Here's the question I've always had for these high profile cases. How do you root out the people that are just saying what they have to say to get on the jury, who are just paying the lip service? You know, I mean, money can be made after this if you're on the jury and you're trying to sell a book or something like that. Maybe I know the judge can set up some rules and all that, but how do you root out the people who just want to be on this jury?
Well, let's put it this way. I think probably Bernardo
Experience.
more so than me. Yeah, like,
it's experience.
we're
You've
not
been
new
in
to
the
this.
game this long.
Yeah.
You know, you're able to tell by body language and your gut reaction in terms of when a person is speaking, whether this is a person that you want to be on your juror. You're never going to get that 100% perfect juror, because that perfect juror for me is a person that Brian's going to go and get rid of that juror. So you're not going to get that one juror, but you want someone that at least we can say that we're on a level playing field and be like, we'll be able to listen to the evidence as it's presented in court and follow the judge's instructions.
Yeah, you got to kind of think about how jury selection operates, right? So we both have challenges where we can just be like, you know, I don't like how this person looks. So long as I'm not discriminating them based on race, religion, whatever, I can kick them out. I'm kicking out who she likes. She's kicking out who I like. And then we've kind of have to like figure out the middle ground. So the person that you're worried about, if you like her side too much, I'm getting you out. If you like my side too much, she's getting you out. That person that you're thinking about usually doesn't make it that far.
I mean, I know you said you don't want fans, but I feel like you'd have to maybe have one or two in to have some kind of middle ground to get this jury seated. No, I mean, you don't want any fans at all.
Well, she might want people who like Tupac and be like, hey, I followed his music. I think it was tragic the way that he was killed. The second I hear tragic the way that he was killed, out.
It's the words that you actually use.
No.
So for Brian, hearing a possible juror saying tragic, be like, wait, hold up. Now you're already showing you sympathy and empathy for the victim, so he will be looking to get rid of them. But once I hear someone mention the word conspiracy or law enforcement just want to take another black man down, oh, you got to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to go.
I've picked jurors because the foreperson was a black African-American man. And I said, when you look at my client, what does he look like? He said, looks like a brother. I said, all right, so we're going to get you. And it's
these are everyday people too. These are everyday people who are a part of this.
It's like, as a defense attorney who's done this for over a decade, it's like speed dating, and you know who's going to
and that's
like
exactly
you and like
what
that.
I tell the jurors when I speak to them. Be like, this is going to be a quick round of speed dating. Not that I've ever done speed dating, but look, I'm going to be asking questions just to see where your mind is at, where you stand, whatever feelings you may have, to be able to assist both sides on whether you're the right juror for this particular case. Because when it comes to homicides, first off, a lot of jurors want to be excused as soon as they hear that it's a homicide, because they don't want anything having to deal with that enormous weight.
You're going to be playing.
You seen that? You heard that? Complicated process. A lot more than what I, think about when I think about jury selection. It seemed like almost like Survival. Remember the TV show where people like getting voted off the island? Oh, he's too strong, she's too weak, and they're picking who they want to be partners with, and it's like this ultimate plan and pretty complicated stuff. And they don't want people that want to make money after the trial, even though it seems like they all make money after the trial. So just a little backstory before we get started. 30 years ago, Tupac met his untimely demise on the Las Vegas Strip, and the jury is finally seated, opening statements Monday, 9:30 in the morning. So tonight, we're getting ready for that. Plus everything else that broke this week. And I guess in comparison, it's not that big deal to a homicide case, but you know, relatively big news, I guess. So what's good, y'all? This is Regroup presented by the Clout Report. I'm your host, J Cal. What's up, chat? Where y'all at? Are y'all following the trial? It's the first time y'all checked in. Y'all locking it in. What's going on? Where y'all watching from? All right. So jury was officially selected after 3 days of questioning. Okay, they got 12 jurors, 4 alternate, 6 men, 10 women. Finalized in about an hour. That final morning. So Judge Carly Kierny instructed them not to research the case or visit any locations connected to it, and arranged for a marshal to escort them in from the parking lot near the courthouse. Okay. And Keefe D, 63 years old, faces 1 count of unaliving a person with a deadly weapon with a gang enhancement. He's pled not guilty. Prosecutors allege he orchestrated the drive-by and supplied the weapon. They don't allege he fired it. If convicted, however, he does face life without parole. Okay. So let's start with some easy questions, y'all. 30 years, 1 defendant. What does justice even look like at this point? And is the verdict going to feel like anything at all? I don't think so. I don't think it's hard to have justice 30 years later. Very difficult to have justice 30 years after the fact. The guy who actually did it is already gone. Street justice for him. I mean, basically everybody else in the car, basically everyone involved, except for one gentleman who is experiencing his own health problems. I mean, if he can make it through the trial, I guess, then justice can be served. I mean, it's hard to have justice 30 years later, regardless of whoever, however, any of the details. What do you all think? So apparently they have marshals escorting jurors in from the parking garage. What does that tell us about this case? Before a single witness testifies, what does that tell us? I think this is basic protocol, honestly. I think this is just your standard procedure, especially for a high profile case. I don't think that they allow people to randomly be contacted by the outside world. They want these people shut off from the outside world as much as possible, really. So yeah, they'll be met every day by law enforcement. They'll have a heavy law enforcement presence in their life until this is over with. So Tupac's cousin, William Lesane, 62, sat in the courtroom this week and talked about what bothered him the most about the unaliving of Tupac itself. And, it's been 3 decades of watching Davis, according to him, TV and podcasts and discuss his alleged roles, in it. And he admitted his role, but it seemed like he was bragging about it, like he was proud of it. He described the weight of hearing that as like he was carrying a 500-pound gorilla on his back. So he also said something I haven't been able to really shake, because I'm here, according to him, I'm here because I love Tupac, not because he hates Keefe D, which, that's understandable. He says he remembers his cousin as funny, generous, courageous, someone who stood on principle, even when he got things wrong as a young man. Well, that's definitely respectable. So first question. I'm here because I love Tupac, not because I hate Keefe D. How many of us watching the trial can honestly say the same thing? I won't say the same thing. I don't love or hate anyone involved. I'm kind of indifferent to everything at this point. And that's why I say it's hard to have just so long after the incident in question, because once that moment is gone, you can't really revisit. The people who you'd like to see pay the price are even gone. If this were like the day after the incident happened, it wouldn't just be Keefe D. It would be all of them, everybody in the car. Tupac's family, Tupac's mother isn't even here anymore to see what's happening. In this type of case, I would love for his mother, more than whomever is left behind now. I'd love for his mother to get closure. That seems fitting. That seems fair. What do you all think? Next up, we got Blueface. Blueface. So apparently Blueface had himself a day. So apparently someone called the police because maybe he was streaming that on live stream.
So did any physical altercation happen today?
No.
Okay. I understand you did lunch, maybe, so
You can answer whatever you want to answer.
were you kicked today?
I see you.
Specifically, have you been kicked in the stomach?
No, I wasn't kicked in my stomach.
Have you been in any sort of medical distress?
No.
No. Do you need fire to come check you out?
Excuse me?
You need fire to come check you out?
No, I don't. I'm trying to go into labor.
They're here for you. Be nice.
No, I'm being nice. I'm being nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys for doing your duties.
Regular nonsense.
Right.
No
I agree with you, little Griffin.
You might want to turn the camera off. I'm just gonna get some of her personal info real quick, just to say we talked to her and she's good.
That's fine. I'm falling. You can tell me.
Yeah, we're good. Are you pregnant?
I'm pregnant.
So I don't know if this is an active investigation or what they got planned there for this infamous kick. But I'll be careful with how I talk about it because there is a pregnant pregnant woman at the center of it, and she's spoken for herself. Seems like. So that's footage of Blueface with Nevaeh, and they ran in the pool, and he looked like maybe he kicked her a little bit, but it seemed like they're playing. I mean, is playing still legal? Is that illegal? Will that get you locked up? I mean, like they're having fun. It didn't look like it's any type of fighting or commotion. She told them she wasn't hurt or anything, apparently. So I think he said he barely kicked her or something like that. Then it changed to pushed her. It's kind of, it didn't really seem like it was like she was like she needed to be rescued. But I could be wrong on that. But apparently he was streaming and viewers called the police. And officers came to his house, walked in home messages, and questioned her. She reportedly around 37 to 38 weeks pregnant. She told them no physical altercation occurred, that she wasn't kicked, in fact, in the stomach, and she declined medical attention. So no medical report has been released, no arrest, no charges. That's the whole confirmed report. And I'm not going to characterize what happened between two people beyond what she said herself. Now, question time. Who's ready? True that. Hundreds of strangers watched that and called the police. Was the people looking for her, or internet deciding it knows better than the woman in the video? I don't know. She said no altercation happened. Where's the line between respecting that and recognizing why someone might say it on live stream in her own home next to her partner? I think there has to be some type of common sense, I guess, used by law enforcement. But I mean, who's fighting like that and playing with the kids and jumping in the pool and swimming around? Is that supposed to be like a fight? Is that the reason why she was kicked? Allegedly, if he actually kicked her, if he did, I think playing. If he actually made contact with her, I'm saying I think he was playing. But are you allowed to play with people anymore? You could tell me in the chat if you like. I don't know. I'm so lost. But another thing that I find kind of difficult about streaming is like, because it's streaming, does that make it really real because it's being streamed and you see somebody do it? Can people be acting on stream? Can they be like playing out, some type of satire, or they're having fun and playing like a role that they wouldn't do if cameras weren't rolling? Because if that's the case, then we can't have acting either. If that's the case, it does it have to be real because somebody streamed it? That's my question. Can you say, and I'm not trying to give him a way out if he kicked his pregnant girlfriend in the stomach, but I'm saying that with so much streaming going on now, does that affect our behavior at all? Does it make us do things we wouldn't normally do? And we're doing it for the stream. We're doing it for viewership. Is that a possibility? That's just a question. So next up, we got Tyga Anybody heard of him? Well, actually, it's Doja. Doja Cat did not. That Tyga album is so bad, Doja Cat didn't appreciate it. And she has to let him hear, give him an earful about it. Apparently.
Cat called him a penis for making it. I'm Liberty Level Complex News. Tyga's new alter ego album Starface dropped July 31st and is inspired by 80s pop and R&B. The project has been catching heat after Tyga himself confirmed he used AI in the production. One person who called him out is his former collaborator Doja Cat. On a live stream on Wednesday, Doja Cat said, "Nobody asked me anything about Tyga, but I felt like saying this." She said Tyga is a penis for making an AI album. Tyga responded to her by saying, "I love Doja, but she made a demonic album. I still love her." What made Doja's comment surprising was that she and Tyga have a history of working together. He hopped on the remix for her first major hit, 2019's Juicy, and they worked together again in 2022 for Freaky Deaky. But Doja is not the only one mad. Critics are trashing Tyga's album. Pitchfork gave it a 0. After being asked about the score by TMZ, Tyga made it clear he is not particularly taking Pitchfork's review too deeply. He has said he doesn't even know what Pitchfork is, adding that the devil uses a pitchfork. Tyga also argued with people calling Starface a fully AI-generated album. He said, "Unfortunately, Gen Z can't read. What I said was this: I used AI-assisted things in the production. All the vocals are me, I wrote all the songs." He added that the 80s synths and guitar were AI, but it's not a fully AI album. He added that he was in the studio for 3 months working on this. Tyga previously defended the use of AI, comparing it to autotune and saying that while people were initially against using autotune, real artists eventually learned how to use it. What do you think? Should artists be embracing AI? I'm Liberty Level Complex. Make sure to shop on Complex.
Yeah. So I heard this album. Before I get into all the details, I want to say on my grading system, that album was absolutely hot trash. I feel robbed after listening to it. I feel like Tyga took something from me that I can't get back. Mainly my time. You know, if he really called this album instead of Starface, it was like called like Shitface or something like that, I wouldn't have stayed away. It was like, give me the heads up. Give me some type of notice before you have me wasting, even if it's like 5-10 minutes, man. You know, that was that bad. And the reason is that it's not hip hop. It's not hip hop. That is 80s pop. That's like for a whole different scene than I am. You know, I don't really rock with that. But you know, I did listen and I made a choice. But he should be honest with his fans, like, hey, I don't really rock with y'all no more. I don't really do that. All the hip hop, Rack City, Faded, all the stuff he made, all the songs, all the hits he made that we liked him for. He ain't on that. He off of that. So I don't know. But anyway, Pitchfork gave his new album Starface a 0.0 on Wednesday. Their first 0 grade in over 19 years over his use of AI in making it. Tyga's defense has been that AI is just a tool, same as auto-tunes when it showed up. However, yesterday, Doja Cat came at him publicly over it and in language considerably blunter than a music interview. You know, that's the escalation. It's no longer critics, it's peers that are chiming in. Is using AI on an album cheating, or is it just the next thing old heads are mad about? Chat, come on, let's hear it. And be careful how you answer, because somebody said the same thing about auto-tune. Yeah, you know, I don't really care, auto-tunes or AI. If it's banging, it's banging. If it's a banger you got, then you got a banger. Real talk. I don't care how you got there. I don't care what you use to get there. If it's nice with it, it's nice. You know, that's what I'm on. So if you can put in a prompt and a banger come out of Chat GPT, hey man, more power. I don't think it's that easy. But hey, you be the judge. So McLemore has the most streamed song on Spotify, which that doesn't shock me too much. I mean, so this came out Friday, and the reaction has been near universal disbelief. Actually, McLemore holds the most streamed hip hop song on Spotify. That's the fact. Okay. So does the number say something about, does it say more about Macklemore or something more about who's actually pressing play on Spotify? I think it says more about who's pressing play on Spotify. How many people use Spotify in relation to the whole, entire population? I mean, where are people getting their music from? Are they getting it from YouTube? I think it's a lot of people on YouTube and Apple Music. Don Toliver. Anybody know about Don Toliver? Anybody up on that?
Brought a gun into the arena. Don Toliver was playing to a sold-out crowd when the concert abruptly stopped. And today we learned a man is under arrest.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a fun show for Don Toliver, his family and friends right here at the Toyota Center in front of a hometown crowd. It was a good time, and it was mostly that way until the final 15 minutes. We want to show you some video we just received from a concert goer. You can see how people were sort of surprised as the house lights were on. This happened 15 minutes before the show was supposed to be over. They were then told to leave, but people who were at the show did not immediately know why the show just ended. This is what we now know. The man you're seeing right now, crazy. Joshua Bielsa, has been arrested and charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. Apparently, a security personnel inside Toyota Center spotted him with a gun inside the arena, and that's what caused the concert to end early. Don Toliver's attorney, Kent Schaefer, attended the concert as a guest. Frankly, he was having a good time and shared photos with us of this concert. He said he didn't feel like he was in any danger. In fact, nobody around him even knew why the concert ended until much later.
I could see everything. I didn't know about anything until after everything had occurred, and then I'm told backstage what had happened. Apparently somebody allegedly was caught with a gun inside Toyota Center, and Toyota Center has hard and fast rules that if a gun is found in the premises, show stops and it's over. End of story. Doesn't matter what kind of event it is, it's just over.
A Houston rappers concert at the Toyota Center was cut short.
Well, that's the story. So apparently, sold out concert at Toyota Center, ended 15 minutes early. Security flagged a man through a metal detector who ended up having a gun. Joshua Bielsa, 30 years old, was arrested and charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. Toliver's attorney said the arena policy is that if if a firearm is found, they just shut the club down, shut the concert down. So what do you all think about that? The metal detector worked, right? Seemed like it. Metal detector worked. Security caught it. Why do you have to end the show because of that? Why do you have to punish the crowd? Why do you have to punish the people that showed up? Because They caught the guy with the gun. I mean, if somebody else had a gun, you know, how would you even know? You know, it seemed like they're just punishing everybody because the apparatus or the mechanisms in place, the protocols in place actually work. I don't get it. So, sold out hometown show cut short. What does an artist owe that room? Awkwardly. Like a refund, makeup date, nothing. 15 minutes late, probably nothing. Probably not much he owes them at that point, but I mean, it just kind of unfortunate, you know, because you know you have to cut it 15 minutes. You might as well let them finish. Yeah, right. That's how I would see it. Butterfly babies. It's like, man, it's damn near over. 15 minutes late. That meant they've been going hours and hours. It's like, okay, now we got to shut down early. Man, let them finish. Anyway, I guess that's why I don't own an arena. Be like, man, finish up. No, y'all good. We got them. Y'all good. So other news, Nipsey Hussle and Bino Rideau project dropped tonight. Do we care? Cardi B, Ty Dolla $ign, also on the album. Let's see here. What do we think about Nipsey right now? He's been gone for a while. Are we looking for new Nipsey or what? Respectfully.
This album, prolific, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I listened to it this morning when I did my run. I start my day with a run, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna tune into this album, see what it's hitting on. Now, note, I went into this album with zero expectations. Well, expectations because I've been a Nipsey fan for a while, but I didn't know what this album was going to sound like at all. I know Black Sam and them have been on a run of promoting the album, stuff like that. I've been a little bit off the grid lately, so I didn't see any interviews or anything like that. I had no idea what to expect. So, boy, when I tell you, I was surprised at the music that we got for this album, and that's not a bad thing. It was an interesting listen on my run because I'm looking to get hyped early in the morning. You know, Nip gonna give us that motivation, that, you feel me, that hustle rap, that street rap, you feel me? Different bit of a vibe on this one, especially as you get into the second half of the album. It's a lot of vibes, and it makes sense because him and Bino, like they did a collab album before and whatnot. There's a lot of songs for the ladies, a lot of vibes on this album. I'm not gonna hold you, but Nip is still rapping at a high caliber. Like, he's still spitting. One of my favorite songs is the closing track, Back to Back. I love that track. 500 Horses is another track I love. I love the joint with Cardi B. You feel me? A different vibe from what I expected. I gave it a second listen after my workout was done and everything, took a shower, switched up the, you feel me, where my headspace was at. And I was like, all right, I get it. I get what the vibe of this album is. You feel me? Going into things with, like, not really knowing where it was headed, what direction it was going in. Posthumous albums are always hard to, like, put together and not seem like cash grabs because it's a lot of unfinished ideas and laid vocals, and there's people switch beats after recordings and stuff like that, and the person is not really there to give their full input. So it's like people that's around them that have to do that to the best of their ability, you know? So it's a very difficult thing to do, but overall, I did enjoy the album. Like, I did enjoy it. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I wasn't necessarily expecting Victory Lap, but this is a totally different vibe from that. So if you go into this expecting Victory Lap, you're going to get something else. You feel me? Yeah, I mean, that's the most I could give you guys right now. Again, this is just the first listen reaction, actually a second listen reaction. You feel me? It's not an album review. It's not a full breakdown track by track. This is just my thoughts off of the album that released today. You feel me? Let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, follow.
All right. For some reason, I trust his take on it. For some reason. So Nipsey's been gone for like 7 years. Do we want more of his music, or would you rather the vault stay closed? And I say that because, like, right now, he's gone, and anything that comes out is probably going to be dated. Hip hop is extremely perishable. So anything that comes out now could hurt his legacy because it's not fresh. It's not right out the studio, right out the booth, hitting the streets. So what are your thoughts? Would you want to see, or would you want to hear new Nipsey? Because it could be more than this. It could be more than this one. I'm gonna definitely check it out though. What other news? Jay-Z is performing in LA October 24th, which ironically, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but it's Drake's birthday. So people are making a lot out of this, saying that they think he's going to have Kendrick make a special appearance, which, like, so what? That's all it is, speculation right now. A calendar, maybe coincidence. But I mean, at what point does that beef end, or does it stop at least just being relevant? Like, so what? So Lil Durk is facing another trial setback. This one is over a 2021 phone evidence. He pled not guilty. Tupac's estate is filing a claim against Daz Dillinger the same week of the unaliving trial seated the jury. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of having to do with the those underground tapes that supposedly, allegedly, Daz Dillinger had access to when Tupac, his unfortunate demise, untimely demise, he had access to it, and I guess no one else did. But other news, Lionel Richie got on the mic, and he definitely didn't hold back.
They trying to do something new. How those good? Earth, Wind, and Fire, we were doing that back 40 years ago. Only difference is between then and now, we didn't go to jail. I'm sorry. We're fine.
Notice he didn't say that they didn't do different. They did things different. He just said they didn't go to jail, I guess, for it, which is maybe a big distinction between then and now. But let me let him finish cooking.
That's right. See, we didn't have that Instagram and that TikTok and that go out and tell a lie, then go post it.
They had Jet.
What the hell was that? And Usher, Chris Brown.
Lionel Richie, know he wrong for that. Come on now. Let these young bulls rock. All right. Other news.
She claiming that 1801 manager Billy J trying to ruin her career. Now I know a lot of y'all saying that this is what she gets for not listening to her dad, Benzino. You know, Benzino knows a lot more about the industry than she does. He has a lot more skin in the game. And I can agree with that sentiment to some extent, but I think what's really happening is Coi Leray is realizing you don't have no damn talent. Let's talk about it, okay? Coi Leray was signed to Republic. They dropped her, and then she signed to Island. And it's been crickets since Players. Let's talk about that. Players was, again, another sample. Y'all stay sampling some shit. And when y'all sample it, y'all don't make it y'all own, and y'all don't sample these records well. I did not like Players. Yes, I know the labels, you know, pushed it and it had a lot of radio play, but who even listens to radio anymore? Players was ass. I wasn't here for it. I think Coi Leray's last good song was Blick Blick. And then what did she do? Fuck around and piss off Nicki Minaj when she really didn't even have that to do. And I know y'all are gonna, again, be like, oh, like Nicki beef with everybody and Nicki this, Nicki that. These girls be doing sneak shit. They use her for a feature, and then when they get what they want, they, for whatever reason, think it's a good idea to talk down. And you don't have to like Nicki Minaj's personality, but why do you feel like you should talk down on somebody that can out-rap you in their sleep? Coi Leray has no talent, and that shit is starting to really hit. And that dry-ass PR relationship with Trippie Redd is not serving her. It's not doing her any good. It's not making anybody interested in her. Trippie Redd can't sell his own goddamn music. So what is you doing it for? I hope y'all really in love, because if you doing it for press and PR, you really wasting your damn time and energy. But again, y'all, Coi Leray don't have no talent, and that's why we haven't heard from her. Crickets. She's like a lot of female rappers where the industry puts a lot of money into them and they don't make any of the money back. And so they just fade away. When the labels don't have any more money to spend, they shelf them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, you know, I just think, you know, it's a lot of people that don't have talent. There's a lot of people that can't sing. There's a lot of people that can't dance. There's a lot of people that can't act, but getting paid to sing, dance, and act. You know, that's the world we live in. You know, it's people that can really sing, really dance, really act, and nobody's giving them a dime. That's also the world we live in. So what's the rhyme or reason? I can't tell you that. I know that in the entertainment world, nobody's messing with you. Nobody's checking for you. Nobody's looking for you until everybody's checking for you. Everybody's looking for you. Everybody's messing with you. It's one or the other, it seems like. So, I mean, hey, Coi Leray, keep doing your thing. Keep going after it. You know, maybe you do need to sharpen your skills a little bit. Maybe. I mean, who doesn't? But, you know, keep keeping on. You know, it's brighter days, you know, to come. So, or at least we should work like that. We should prepare like that. We should grind like that. We should get up like that. Stay up late, working on our craft, getting better, finding our weaknesses, working on them, improving them. You know, so that's my inspirational moment of the day. All right, what else we got? Joe Budden. Joe Budden. Anybody heard about Joe Budden's new project? He got a new project, y'all. Joe Budden. Joe Budden is killing them. Joe Budden is killing them.
A stranger bursts into her house. He runs
So this is a
upstairs.
new show
He comes back
that,
down with her 2-year-old in one
Mr.
hand
Budden
and a
producing?
gun in the other. Think about what this actually is.
Crime
It's not
in
an
America.
insult. It's a location. It's an X that marks the spot where her kids sleep. Beaten, strangled, stabbed, and set on fire. An incredible amount of violence for someone who didn't have any enemies or stalkers. The kids came home from their sleepover to a grisly scene. Thelma's 17-year-old son found her in her bedroom with a butcher knife sticking out of her chest. And yet, no forced entry, as if whoever did this was welcomed in. By the end of the night, Christopher Barber confessed to Thelma's murder. Forensics found a single pubic hair on Thelma's body. Not only did the DNA rule out Barber and Hester, it also gave them a match. Those test results came out in 2021, and Barber is still on death row.
All right.
Today, we're going to start.
That's what's up. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love to see people be able to show range. You know, in this world, people always want to put us in a box. You know, if you do something great, that's all you can do. If you do another thing, okay, you can only do those two things. That's it. That's all you can do. But it's a lot of people that are super talented out there that can do a lot of things and do them well. And I love to see it. Shout out to Joe Buttons for that. But I'm pretty sure he's still got his podcast and doing his other thing too. That's also doing pretty well. Yeah, so that's good. All good. So question and answer. Who's ready for some question and answer? Lionel Richie criticizing Chris Brown and Usher. Does he have the standing to do that? And does it even matter to you all what he has to say? I don't think it matters that much personally. I mean, I wish he didn't do that. I wish he used his platform or his opportunity on the microphone to say something positive, maybe something a little uplifting. Not to say they doing what we did 50 years ago. I mean, yeah, we know that. Yeah, that's the obvious part, right? So what? What's your point? Oh, they doing what the Four Tops was doing. They doing what the Earth, Wind, and Fire was doing. Yeah, that's how it works. And guess what's gonna happen 50 years from now? It'll be somebody else. Yeah, that's how it go. Yeah. Yeah, music don't stop with Earth, Wind, and Fire or the Four Tops or the OJs or the whoever in the hell else used to do it. Yeah, it's always gonna be someone who used to do it. And guess what? It's always somebody else coming. There's always somebody else coming. It's some young boys and girls in vocal training right now, learning how instruments and everything, and they're getting ready to be the next generation to get that Chris Brown and Usher money, take the fan base right from them. But it's okay. That's just the way it works. So I think we got to congratulate each other a little more. You know, be more supportive of one another. Not all this hate, man. We got to get away from that, man. You know, you think Lionel Richie being almost 80 years old, he'd be a little more understanding of how that works. Anyway. All right, y'all. So it was amazing. I had a blast with y'all today. Like, share, subscribe. We're here every Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock. Standard time, Pacific Standard Time, anyway. So check us out next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace.